all the people from Zara. I've been waiting for this for my entire life. Okay, darling, you need to get a life urgently. But I'm glad that you all could come. Thank you for making it this early. And well, here we are. Me and Francis are here. Hello, Francis.
Hello. Thank you, Manny, for a unique presentation this morning about the number of people that we have here. Guys, welcome to Recruitment Webinar Day 1. Woohoo! I must say that I'm really excited about today, and just like Sarah, I have also been waiting for this my entire life, even though I have actually had this a couple of times already in my life. But irrelevant. Moving on. So, guys, I hope you're ready because today is going to be short but also very informative, and same with all the other days as far as this recruitment training webinars are concerned. This is a very important part of this training that I need you guys all to fully partake in. And of course, it has to do with you guys writing down in a nutshell or in a phrase or in a word how your experience has been. I'm not talking about just any experience whatsoever, but I'm talking about the experience that you have had with recruitment since you joined this organization, be it if you were recruited into becoming a member, be it if you were recruited into the organization as a member first, and then you graduated from there to apply for becoming an EB, which is an executive board member, or if you were recruited directly into the roles that you are currently working in. So I will give you just a minute to just write in a nutshell, be it a phrase, a sentence, or a word to express how your experience was as far as recruitment is concerned. Okay, so Arnold says that for him, he was recruited directly into being a VPTM, and it was pretty exciting for him. Thank you very much, Arnold. Madeline says it was exciting and slightly confusing at times. Okay, that's also very true. Thank you very much. I can see multiple attendees are typing, which is very good. Okay, Emmanuel Russ says his recruitment made me believe more in myself, was on both sides of recruitment. Okay, great. Very happy that Emmanuel went through the TMP as well as TLP recruitment. And Johanna says that it was fairly simple but professional and exciting. Amazing. Thank you very much, Johanna, for sharing. Claire said, I was recruited as a team member and then applied to be VPOGX. It tested my public speaking skills and made me see how much leadership potential AIESEC has. Wow, Claire, I should come to you to be able to gain a better experience then. Zara, I feel lucky that I went to that first info session because when I look at who I am today and who I was 1 year ago, I can't believe that more time hasn't passed. Very impactful. I can see it from what Zara wrote. So Robert also says that recruited as a member of OGX, then I have applied for TL, took the place, and then applied and made it for VP. Quick, insightful, great experience. Amazing. Wow, you guys have really, really amazing experiences. So we'll go back into the presentation. Thank you guys for sharing. The rest of you can put your inputs also within the text box as the others have. And due to the fact that we may not have enough time, I will just quickly go into the next slides. You should take into account that not all of you had the simplicity or the clarity as far as recruitment is concerned from the very beginning. And some of you may have come into the organization being confused or not being clear about exactly what the organization can or cannot do for you and what you can or cannot do for the organization. So there was no proper alignment from the very beginning in terms of expectation setting, and this may or may not have caused other people's experience to be hindered in a way or two. But this training is to empower you as VPs or EBs to ensure that this does not happen again. And we do not want to spend 2 hours every day for 3 days and have you go back the same, because we want you to provide other people with life-changing experiences through very unique recruitment process and then enable them to partake fully in the organizational operations without any doubts of why they have joined the organization. So, guys, are you ready to actually go into knowing more about the processes of recruitment? Woohoo!
So overexcited, friend.
I am. Manny is sitting here with a big grin on his face as well, guys. Don't ignore him. Okay, so.
Okay, guys. So here you see a simplified timeline of how our recruitments are, or what major activities are going to happen in a timeline until November. So in July, most of you participated, took part in our amazing product packaging, which happened for both TM and OGX. So pretty happy that some of you packagiers I can see that are here today. So thank you for coming. So after this product packaging, which was defining, really outlining the products for future leaders, global citizen, and global talent, we moved on to the creation of the materials portfolio, which was published on August the 1st. Hope you like the materials. And for those who saw the small errors in Swedish, like, don't worry, we're still going to have a second look at it and edit the materials until the 6th of August. And also until the 6th of August, we will consult, I will consult each LC because we're looking into giving financial support for the materials. So I will tell you exactly how much the MCs will support you with, and then you can just say, oh, I would like a bit more materials with the resources I have. So that will be something that we will check up individually with the LCs. Also in August, there's going to be IC, so it's high season for creating OGX partnerships. And unfortunately, I will not be here for most of August, but you can always reach me by email if you have any questions concerning the OGX part. And Franny will always be here for the TM part. Also, we will begin online promotion, since I know most of you start classes, start school on the 1st of September. So it's always a good idea to start the online promotion before school starts, so that like students are already warmed up to whatever is going to go on in terms of on-campus promotion. In September, right now, we are what my focus in terms of comms. So until now, was creating the materials. Now it's going to be to create our national website. We've already bought the templates, and we are going from now on to be updating the website so that it can be officially launched in September. A little secret for you guys: you can actually see in the future. Right now, it still doesn't have anything, but if you access test.isec.se, you will be able to see the progress of the new website. So that's going to be exciting. And then in September, we will launch it. It won't be 100% ready when we launch it because we're going to leave the company section of the website for last, since it is not our focus right now to get it until recruitment. No, Zara, test.isec.se. Yes, exactly, Robert. So you will go on with, you will start your recruitments in September. Probably some of you will already start in August. So you will have on-campus activities focused on September. It will be wise to wrap up your recruitments until mid-October, so that all newies can have a proper member induction, which is something that Francis will go through with the VPTMs, and which we'll also talk about during the course of these webinars. And so that your members at the end of those induction weeks can attend Engage, which will be on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of October. So I hope to see you all there.
Yay!
Woo! Another important change that will happen in October will be in terms of GIS. So as you might already know from our Empower webinars that happen in June, GIS is going to be the replacement for myisec.net. So actually myisec.net is going to cease to exist from November onwards. So this means that we will start implementing GIS gradually, and by Engage, everyone will use GIS. So the new members, actually, they won't work with myisec.net anymore, just us. And another interesting thing is that some of the processes that we're gonna go through today, especially the customer flow, which is how a customer acts from the moment he subscribes to the moment he's realized, will change once GIS is implemented, because the process is going to be different for myisec to GIS. So actually, what we're going to learn today is going to be unupdated in 3 months' time. Yay! But this is something you need to know, because during the first recruitment, we will still be running with myisec.net.
Yay!
Yay! So in November, basically, after Engage, you will begin a new recruitment cycle for OGX. And in the bottom section of your screen, you will see that those are the recommended, or at least the usual recruitment periods for OGX and TM. So TM, you have 2 member recruitments to really complement your HR structures and making sure that your committee is always running. And then OGX, you have 4 recruitment cycles in which you can recruit your EPs and then induce them and match them. So September, October, November, December, February, March, April, May for OGX, and TM September, October, February, March. So that is a simplified timeline for what is going to happen. Not that much simple, since I've been talking for a while now, but let's pretend it was.
Okay, guys, that was Manny talking for a while. Moving on. So now we're going to go into future leaders, or TMP recruitment. I know that most of you, or most LCs, currently do not actually have members, or should I say ODs, in their local committees. And it is very ideal that we take that into consideration. So as the MC's point of view, or whilst we were doing the products packaging, we actually took a lot into consideration as far as recruiting is concerned, and also concerned ourselves primarily with TMP to believe that after their 3 to 4 months experience in the organization, they can be retained in the organization because of their unique contribution that they have had to the organization, and graduate from being a TMP to a TLP and possibly become an EB or take up another extraordinary role in the organization. On that note, we move into member recruitment. Guys, if by any chance you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to write it in the text box, and your questions would be answered duly. So, my very first question to you guys. First, to begin with, I would like to give a big thank you to my 4 LCVP TMs who actually participated fully in this member creation, the product packaging, and these VPTMs are Zara, Johanna, Arnold, and Victoria. And Victoria is not here at the moment, but I would like to say a big thank you to you guys for ensuring that your input have been heard and that we have a very strong and yet stable product that we are going to use for this year's TMP recruitment. So now the question is it not enough that we have created the product for TMP? One thing you should all know is that the product packaging provides us with a unique and better way to communicate with our customers and also have a better control over their added value and also provide them with a platform for personal development. So that being said, you should always take into consideration that this does not in any way move us from our talent management processes. So as far as member recruitment is concerned, we have specific talent management processes that have to be followed to ensure that we get our members on board. And Future Leaders is a very unique way of packaging our products to be sold to our consumers or our customers. Okay, so moving into the member recruitment processes. We have, of course, the talent planning, and I know that most of you guys already know about the recruitment processes because you are super smart, and I'm almost always impressed whenever I talk to my VPTMs because of their awesomeness and their proactiveness. So we have the talent planning. We also have the talent marketing or promotions. Guys, do not worry, we will take them one after the other. We have talent selection. We have talent induction, and then we have talent allocation. And now sink it into talent planning. So talent planning is the first part of the process where the LC identifies current and future human resource needs for the organization to achieve its goals. Guys, very important. The LC identifies the current and future human resource needs. So then hence the LC does not do this by just speculating that, okay, so we do not really care about the number of people that come into the organization and then whoever wants to join can join. No. Before I joined the organization, I actually also went through this recruitment process, as you guys may all know. And this process made me know about the fact that AIESEC doesn't just recruit people, we recruit the best people. And these best people are the individuals that we see high potentials in to become the better leaders through the outer journey of leadership experience that we provide to them, which will enable them to partake fully in our operations and ensure that we continue delivering more life-changing experiences to other individuals. Talent planning is a unique way which will provide a chance for each and every LC to, of course, understand the team minimums. So by talent planning, each LC will understand team minimums, which has to do with a number of things. And all of this is embedded, of course, in the talent planning tool, which will be presented to you during the second day of the recruitment process, of the recruitment webinar. It will also enable you to know about proper HR allocation control. This is also something that has already been created from the national level and will be presented to you guys. But guys, please note that come as it may, all that we are doing from this level is proposing a structure or a proper allocation cycle to all LCs. And it is up to the LCs per their talent planning and also per their end of year goals to take into account how many people they may want in the organization and how many experiences they would want to provide at the end of the year. The talent planning would also enable you to have a clear JD for organizational growth. Throughout the course of last year, which is 13-14, what AIESEC International realized is one of the very major bottlenecks or shortcomings that the organization has had is the fact that we do not have clear JDs for our members. And then this prevents us from actually having a proper control over their unique contribution to the organizational growth. And hence, members do not really feel that they are part of the organization or doing something unique in the organization. And it's always very important for them to know about their unique contribution through a very clear JD for them to always have a control also over their activities as far as the organization is concerned. And the last part is the number of members to be recruited and total number of experiences to be delivered. So upon doing member planning, you would realize that you would know exactly about the number of members that you have to recruit at the end of the year and the total number of experiences in terms of TMP, TLP to be delivered to the members at the end of the year. Moving on. Now we have talent marketing. Woohoo! So guys, talent marketing is the process where the entity promotes or sells its products to the customers or our target groups. So this year, of course, as you may all know, we have our product package, which is the Future Leaders. And the Future Leader package also has two sub-products, which is a social entrepreneur and professional networker. Social entrepreneur would be addressing our need or our focus area within the aspect of OGX, and professional networker would be addressing our focus area within the aspect of ICX or IGIP. However, the Future Leaders product package empowers purposeful young people to and provides an opportunity for an internalization to improve self-awareness, gain practical experience in an intensive team environment, and have personal and professional development. So guys, as you can see, I know that most of you will be like, wow, this is a very important and yet still text-heavy content. Yes, and that is why the materials have already been created by the COM team. Guys were amazing. And because of the materials, you would know about very specific ways to be able to communicate the products that we have in the organization and also do it in a very pretty way. Okay, moving on. So as far as promotions are concerned, of course, upon doing our product packaging, there are two main ways of promotions that we considered, which was online and offline. And online, of course, we considered all these, and we believe that LCs would, of course, take these things into consideration and ensure that they use this as platforms for promotion. But guys, note that there is always, of course, a room for you to create a very unique promotion of your own in your LCs, just like was done in LC Stockholm with the Blue Man campaign, and also like in my home LC, we did the AIESEC Free Hug Day and things in that light. So you can get creative if you wish to, and all of this content can also be found in the TM first draft meeting for the product packaging, which was sent to the entire network. And I believe also that all VPTMs would present to their LCs or EBs the product package, because now they have a better control over it and they understand it better. And with that, you guys would be able to fully identify the promotional channels that you want to use, as well as the materials that you want to incorporate within your promotions. So the MC will provide support with printed materials, and online promotion can start before school starts. So all materials in terms of, as you guys may have already also seen within the product packaging, the promotional materials also had Facebook covers and things that could and can or should be used online. So you guys can quickly start with the online promotions and let us rock this year's recruitment. Woohoo! So now we move into talent selection. So talent selection is often incorporated into recruitment. This is a way Yes, of course, it is recommended that talent promotion or marketing is done after you do your talent planning, so that you have a better idea of exactly uh, how to do your promotions and your marketing and when to actually start it. But we recommend that it starts at least 2 weeks before the actual offline promotions also are incorporated. Cool? Super. Moving on. So talent selection is often incorporated into recruitment. This is a way to assess applicants to confirm if they are qualified to join the organization by demonstration of skills or alignment uh, without with values to match the LC's needs. And this is based primarily also on the talent plan. So if you guys would take this into account, you would realize that the talent plan plays a very important role as far as recruitment is concerned. And if we do not take this seriously, it will, believe me, it will actually go a long way into um, hindering the efficiency of our recruitment. So for this year, we are going to be doing our talent selection with the value-based TMP recruitment, and this is a way of actually recruiting people into Gen 2015. Materials about value-based recruitment would be sent out to LCs, but note that it's actually very, very simple to do. The main thing that always has to be considered before selection is done is a TTI, which is train the interviewers. This is a part of preparation for selection, and it is very advisable that all VPTMs ensure that all interviewers are trained and understand how to properly assess their candidates. So documents would be sent about this, or documents have already been created about this and would be presented to you, and LCs would be expected to ensure that all their interviewers have knowledge about value-based recruitment and also how to properly assess the candidates who are potentially going to be our newbies or going to function in the organization. So now we go into my favorite part, which is the talent induction. Woohoo! So talent induction is the most intense process, which has to do with theoretical and practical knowledge transfer to the selected members for operational capacity. So then hence the induction process enables newies to have a better understanding of the organization and also gain some practice as to the operations that we run in this organization. This is a slide that I always like to show whenever I'm talking about connection with members, because as an organization, we should always have an understanding of the triple bottom line of our social enterprising, which in this case is AIESEC social enterprising. And with this, we always take into account three things whenever we are planning for anything or taking anything into consideration. And this is our members, our finance, and our product. So then hence our members, which is our talent capacity, are the individuals that are supposed to ensure that our products are driven to the market or taken to different parts of the region or the world that are supposed to go. And our customers should be able to partake in this. But of course, there's nothing in this world currently that can be done without finance. So whatever we do, we also have to take that also into account. So induction of our members this year would be directly into our core product for a stronger background and understanding of our operations. So you cannot have members in your organization function without the members actually understanding the core products of the organization, which in our case is GCDP and GIP. So for this year, we will be recruiting members, or the MC strongly recommends that all LCs recruit members into GCDP and GIP. And as far as induction is concerned, also a package for induction would also be sent out to the LCs. And if by any chance there are any comments or any observations or clarity that needs to be made, you do not hesitate at any point in time to reach me. I'm very sure almost everybody that has already reached me would confirm that I'm very fast with responding and ensure that I give in my all to support whoever or whichever LC. So now the final part, which has to do with talent allocation. This process is a process of carefully allocating newies into operations for achievement of LC goals, and this increases the retention rate by providing clear goals and activities. So as you can see, this also reflects on the talent plans that we have to do at the beginning of our year or before we actually start recruitment. And this would give us a better control over the clear goals that we have set, the people that should be the number of people that should be recruited, and the number of things that should be done. Okay, so Rebecca has. No, it was Robert has a question. Robert, just give me a very short second.
Yeah, it was so your question was if you should educate your new members on the new platform or my AIESEC. Since they are going to be recruited during September, October, I would advise you only to train them in GIS. There's no need for them to learn about myiesec.net, honestly. So you only educate them about the first the new customer flow, not the old one that we're going to do today. And until the end, until September, you will also get like some education from us on how to use GIS with the support of Susanna, who is our NST information management.
Yes, super. Okay, so on that note, we would continue with talent allocation. It empowers personal learning and development of the individual by clearly showing the areas which can be developed. It is a process to make sure the right person is doing the right job. And it is always very important to have the right people doing the right jobs. Okay, amazing. I can see Robert is very content with his answer. So we move on. So again, a quick recap of the member recruitment processes is talent planning, which of course is very important for us to know exactly what talents that we want to get into the organization and how their unique contribution would be. Talent marketing and promotion would be for us to know about how best to communicate to our members and or the potential members, and how best to promote our product or our sub-product to them for them to apply and possibly be part of the organization. Talent selection, which of course also has to do with assessing the applicants and then selecting them for operating fully in the organization or becoming members. Talent induction is inducing or inducting members into our organization, whereby they learn more about our core product and understand the why of our organization, so that within the shortest possible time they may not be confused about why we do what we do. Talent allocation, which of course has to do with allocating our members into doing the right things at the right time. Talent allocation is coming last because, as I already stated, talent induction this year is going to be a process whereby we run members through getting to know more about our product. And since we are inducting them primarily into our core products, we expect that through induction, we would run them through a list of activities or a list of practical activities that will enable us to have better clarity on exactly the areas that they would best fit. And note that talent allocation is to ensure that the right people are doing the right jobs. And the selection process is very good for us to know about the alignment of the individuals as far as the organizational values are concerned, so that they can be, which is exhibits the behaviors to actually do, which is to ensure that they do the actions that are very important for the organizational growth. So allocation comes after induction, because by that time we would have a better understanding of their real strength and also of their major passion as far as the the organizational operations are concerned. Arnold, are we good? Okay, great. So on that note, we would move on. And yes, at the end of all this, or throughout this entire process, we should always take into account that system administration is very, very ideal and should always be taken into account everything that we do. And on the last day of this webinar, we would also look at the system administration in terms of we would have a workshop which would give you guys a little bit more insights on usage of MyAIESEC.net, even though it's about to become extinct. Okay, thank you. So now we are going to look at the customer flow of TMP, which is Team Member Program, and these are things that must be known before we quickly look into this. Essentials. Terms that have to be taken into consideration are TMP, Team Member Program. That is what it means, basically. TLP is Team Leader Program. Induction is 3-week introductory period. Always take that into consideration, that it's a 3-week introductory period, and its induction ends at the New Year conference and for AIESEC in Sweden, which is the Engage conference. And raise in TMP is role assignment on MyAIESEC.net, same time as matched. And matched, role assignment on MyAIESEC.net, same time as realized, not matched. And realized is happens at same time as raised and matched, but can be broken if member quits before 56 days have passed. So realization for TMP can be broken if a member quits before 56 days have passed. But guys, I do not think that this is a scenario that we have to bother ourselves with, because I believe strongly that what we are going to be offering to our participants this year would be very, very ideal and would enable them to stay in the organization or constantly want to function in the organization. Induction related information, of course, would also be sent out to you guys as far as this is concerned. So the customer flow for TM, we have the visitor part, or from the stranger to a visitor, whereby the candidate or the potential member is pre-raised, where young person goes to AIESEC.org, AIESEC.sc, or volunteer abroad, or whatever it is. Irrespective of the site that they actually go to, they get to more or less engage with the organization, and this may be classified as the EWA phase of the AIESEC experience, which is the engagement with AIESEC. They also have a first contact with the organization, and then possibly go for info sessions. Hopefully all the members that contact us or become visitors would be converted at least to go to our info sessions. And then we have the customers, whereby we have the raised, match, and realized, and we would have a candidate is selected through an interview process, beginning of induction. Of course, you have to start induction before they are fully become members, and then the member is assigned a role on MyAIESEC.net. Hopefully, they will be assigned roles on GIS directly. And we also have membership, where they become full members at the end of the induction, which is engage, and then they become active members and are tracked by his or her VP due to the talent allocation that is done. And then they ascend per our ideal scenario or ideal thoughts for a member development. We, of course, and hope that all members ascend from becoming TMP for the first 3 to 4 months to becoming TLPs, and then possibly taking up a leadership position, which is an EB. It could actually be directly an MC if the member is fully developed enough. Okay, so there is also the alumni phase, which is the LLC, which is lifelong connection. where there's involvement in activities and contribution to the LCs, whereby we use our alumni or our alumnus for several functions. We can use them for buddies of our members. We can use them for trainings about some of the external things that we feel that the alumni is very knowledgeable about. And we also use them mostly for showcasing stories, and hence they become promoters of our product and always stay glued or stay tuned to the organization, and also provide a certain level of motivation for the newies that are in the organization or individuals that also want to participate in our operations or want to also become our customers. So thank you guys so much, and I would hand over to Manuel right now to handle the OGX
part. Wow, Francis, thank you. So guys, if you are still with me, please type banana.
Wow.
Yay! Awesome, guys.
Really banana phone, Zara?
Banana phone. Thanks, Zara. Not really what I asked for, but sure. Very creative. Awesome, guys. I'm happy that we have many bananas here still. Moving on to the OGX part of it. So this is a recap of the member recruitment process. You had the planning, the talent marketing, talent selection, talent induction, and talent allocation. And I have a question for you. Which processes that are here do you think also can apply to OGX? If you take away like the talent, take away the talent part. No. But what do you think are the processes that also exist in OGX from here? You can shout out randomly. All of them. This says Erica. Emmanuel says promotion, selection, and induction. Okay. Okay. So actually, here the most. Oh, maybe not meant this is on planning. Well, of course, you don't have the allocation part because you're not allocating your EPs to anything. But yes, I would say that the rest of them are there, especially planning, promotion, and selection. The thing is that induction is quite different. It's not the same as talent induction because they get to know the organization and so on and so forth. But for an EP, an induction is usually OPS, where they get to like. They do have that small contact with the organization, but it's more to prepare them culturally for the challenges that they will face during their experience. So it's not really an induction per se. But yeah, planning, promotion, and selection are processes that also exist in OGX. And that is why when you're doing a TM recruitment and an OGX recruitment, there are a lot of contact points. And as your LCs grow bigger, never forget to keep this strong synergy between the OGX and TM areas, because basically they're performing exactly the same activities when they're in recruitment. So the first stage of running an OGX recruitment is obviously starting with the planning. So Francis gave you an insight on what is talent planning. In terms of OGX, you have two sides of planning. One which is strategic, which has to do with defining the key strategies and action steps that you will take to upsell your product. Here, things like defining your product, your target audience, what will be your communication channels, what kind of supporting files and materials do you need to develop, like, for example, an interview guide for the EPs, or your OPS sessions. These are all things that need to be planned in advance, because believe me, recruitment period is quite stressful because everyone, including the VPs, are very operational. So if you like, my advice for you is like have these things ready for when you go into recruitment, because when you're in recruitment, you won't have time to do it. Then the second part of planning is setting numeric goals for yourself. So setting measures of success, actual goals to which you will strive to achieve. how are measures of success for OGX planned? They are planned using a process called backwards planning, which I will tell you about it tomorrow. So how to set numeric goals, because there is actually a flow and a process to plan out what will be your end goal. Fun. So this is regarding the planning phase. Then you obviously move on to the promotion phase of OGX. And Francis talks about future leaders as our product for TM. Who can tell me the two OGX products?
They don't know it.
Yes, those are our programs, but yes, Emmanuel, that's exactly. Emmanuel and Manuel got it. That's what I wanted you to say. Exactly. It's the name of our product. So our programs are obviously GCDP and GIP. This is how we know them internally on the organization. But the products, the way we sell them to the exterior, because, people get confused if you say, hey, do you want to go into GIP? They're like, what the fuck are you saying? Yes, our programs are Global Citizen and Global Talent. And this summer has been focused on developing the sub-products for these two products. So who can tell me the sub-products of Global Citizen and Global Talent? And I see that there are people here who were part of the OGX product packaging task force, so no cheating. Yes. Emmanuel, very good. So for Global Talent, we defined that the best sellable products would be marketing and teaching, due to the demand that our students have for it, and second, for the TN supply and the network. So there are actually enough marketing and teaching TNs for it to be a promotable product to our customers or our target audience. And for Global Citizen, can anyone tell me the 3 sub-products for Global Citizen? Sniff, sniff. Okay, guys. So perhaps the chat isn't working. Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, you're starting to scare me, guys. So Madeline, nice guess. So basically, our sub-products are education, entrepreneur, and culture. So education based on work with communities and schools and NGOs on education topics such as languages, arts, and human rights. Entrepreneur has to do with social entrepreneurship, which is like microfinance projects, for example, consultancy projects. They're more focused on the business area students. And also culture, which is a variety of projects that promote cross-cultural dialogues, such as global villages, interaction with our APs with universities. There are a lot also of projects, cultural projects in the database. So moving on. So this is exactly the slide that we presented on the OGX, on the TM part, which is what kind of promotion you can do. Obviously, it's promotion is a contact point, as I told you, between TM and OGX. So you also do exactly the same activities that you do for TM, you do for OGX. So online promotion focusing on your websites and social media, on mailing lists that your university has or other student organizations that you have in your university, and then also offline strategies that you can choose from, such as like doing a promotional stand, special events, on-campus campaigns, lecture bashes, and just distributing materials throughout your students. Again, MC will provide you with financial support for these printed materials. We do have a budget that we want to invest on the LCs. And to give you a more clear update on what is happening right now for the printed materials, we are checking in. I'm waiting for some responses from Romania, which was until up to now the more competitive prices that we had, but I'm still waiting for a definitive budget from the guys there, so I'm waiting for a response. And of course, as Francis said, online promotion can start before school starts. And as I think it was Zara that asked, when should online promotion start? It should be, of course, before school starts, so that you're warming up your audience to the on-campus promotion that you're going to facilitate next. And actually, it serves as pull marketing, because when they see so many things on the internet, and then they see some kind of promotional stand or anything like that that is happening on campus, they will feel more attracted, and they will willingly approach you to inquire on your products. Robert, you mentioned error 404. Is something wrong with the presentation? Nope. Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay, I was getting scared that nobody was listening anymore. Awesome. A very, very important question that you might have, and that I'm surprised that no one did it until now, is when you get a subscription online, where does it go?
Exactly.
So there are three main. So Emmanuel has one guess. It's ORS. Yes, that is. Robert has another one. Podio. Yes, that is the second one. Exactly. Those are two very good guesses. And actually, this is quite confusing right now, because AIESEC in Sweden has, and this doesn't happen in other entities, we have three ways to get subscriptions. If a candidate subscribes on www.aisec.org, this is the AIESEC International site through which they have an application form, and they can choose Sweden and an LC in Sweden as their as a choice. There is that possibility. So if someone subscribes through www.aisec.org, the subscription will end up on ORS. ORS is our online registration system. We are going to talk to you about that on the third day of the webinars, how to manage ORS and how to manage your subscriptions on ORS. Because quite unfortunately, last year, I think only 2 LCs ever consulted ORS. And this is a shame, because you're losing a lot of subscriptions if you don't consult your page on ORS. So we will be going through how to access ORS and how to really play with it. Awesome. So that is it for AIESEC.org. The second way that you can get subscriptions is obviously through our national website, www.aisec.se. There is also an application form which the candidate or the visitor of the website can fill, and he can decide if he wants to sign up for GCDP or for GIP or for GMP. And that subscription actually goes to an email. It's an automatic form. Perhaps the VPTMs already know about this because the AIESEC.se subscriptions, they go to an email, which is info@aisec.se. Up to now, Magnus, our MC consultant, had the access to it, but now I have access to it, and I will be sending you any subscriptions that fall into info@aisec.se to your VPTMs, as Magnus has been doing up to now. Third way to get subscriptions is through a mini website called volunteerabroad.aisec.se. I don't know if you have consulted it. It's actually something we inherited from last year and that I remodeled this year, just so that the website wouldn't die. But this website actually will cease to exist once AIESEC.se, the new version, is completely ready. But for now, the volunteerabroad.aisec.se subscriptions, they actually end up on our OGX workspace on Podio. So if any of the VP OGXs already have access to the OGX workspace, they will notice that there is a tab. How do you call it on Podio again? Workspace? A tab? An app, exactly, an app. So there is an app called Website, and actually the subscriptions that appear there are the ones that were submitted via volunteerabroad.isec.se, which is actually a website only focused on global citizen. So that's great. So ORS info@isec.se and Podio. Here I can give you a suggestion until we have GIS and isec.se ready. What I can recommend you, and because this is very confusing to always be consulting subscriptions in different platforms. So usually what I recommend is that info@isec.se, you don't need to worry because it's me that sends it's me that sends the emails to the VPTMs. But then ORS and Podio, you should really define who has to check those subscriptions. Since Podio, it's an OGX workspace and it's just global citizen subscriptions, I would advise this responsibility to fall on the VP OGXs. And in terms of ORS, since it's subscriptions for all programs, I would advise that it would be the responsible for communication, your VPCom, that would be responsible for consulting ORS. So that later that person can distribute the subscriptions between the various areas. So Emmanuel is asking a question, is why isec.se and volunteerabroad.isec.se exist at the same time? That is a good question. So if you consult isec.se, right now it's a rather confusing website and it looks rather unfinished. And like last year, before isec.se was remodeled by, I think it was Christopher from Gothenburg. So thank you, Christopher. He did some work on the website. But before that website existed, like we had no online platform for where our interns and our potential members could consult. So the MCVP com last year, Valeria, she decided to do this volunteerabroad.isec.se, so it would compile all the information on global citizen, and it would be an attractive method to promote global citizen amongst our target audience. But as I told you, and how as we're going to see now, is how our future subscriptions going to be. So starting in October, as you know, the implementation of GIS will have a lot of effects on the on the world. So all of the subscriptions that will fall into www.isec.org. Well, actually, isec.org is going to be like GIS, which is going to be gis.isec.org. GIS is actually going to be an open platform, and basically members can do applications in GIS, and they will be immediately registered on the system. So this means that subscriptions that go on isec.org go directly to GIS because ORS is going to be incorporated into GIS. Then isec.se, during IC, my mission is to find out how to connect the websites to GIS, but that's exactly the objective, is it's to make the subscriptions fall not in an email, because you know something might happen to me, or imagine that I go on a week of vacation and it's stupid because no one else has access to info@isec.se. So it doesn't make any sense for the subscriptions to fall on a private email, to be honest. So I will be consulting AI to see how we can connect our private website to GIS, because I know that other entities are already doing that. For example, ISEC in the USA and ISEC in Canada. Then volunteerabroad.isec.se, well, it's simply going to cease to exist because we hope that by then isec.se is going to be a pretty and informative website that completely depletes the reason of existence for volunteerabroad.isec.se. So the ideal plan is for it to end and yes, and die. And so, as you can see, we will have a very simple subscription theme. What theme? Okay. Awesome. Moving on to the third process, that is a contact with TMP, because it's pretty much the same. It's selection. Uh, so yes, I don't know. RIP voluntary abroad. Exactly. That's what we hope to say in 2 weeks, in 2 months' time. In terms of selection, OGX obviously is not exactly the same thing as TMP, but the selection process is the same. In the center of selection, you have an interview. Now, something I have to share with you is that having only an interview as a selection moment for EPs, it means that it's a very light process. Actually, other entities, you just need to go like a little bit next door to the south to Poland. If you see their selection process, they have an assessment center. They do group dynamics to see how they will work in a team. They do an individual interview. They have a lot of steps to make sure that they're gonna select the best EPs possible, and that they're really aligned with our values, and that they will enjoy and contribute in their GCDP or GIP experiences. And judging by the problems that have been reported to me by all of your EPs during the summer, which, to be honest, I had never seen people complain about such little things, I can tell you that perhaps it's either a problem of selection and that these EPs are not being selected properly, or their expectations aren't being set correctly during OPS, so after they are matched, and so that they are ready for their experience and for the challenges that they are going to face. But that is something that I would say is we should talk about more when we talk about OPS, so before they are matched. Sorry, after they are matched. But in terms of selection, so you have the interview. So in the interview, there are a few essential questions that you need to answer with this process. So do you think through the interview that your candidate is ready to face the challenges of culture shock? So in Portugal, we do a lot of situational questions, for example. So what would happen, how would you react, or how would you feel if you were in India and your accommodation was, you had to live with 8 people, there was no bathroom, and it was infested with mice? So that kind of situation, you need to place your EPs, your EP candidates in to really see how they would react to this kind of a culture shock. Sorry, Emmanuel, this was not at all a racist comment. It was just an example. I don't know why India came up. So second question is, are his or her expectations fully aligned and realistic? So expectations also has to do with understanding how our organization works, because something that can happen quite easily is for them to not understand, for example, why they pay an EP fee. Where is that money going? And also not knowing how we work means that they will expect that when they arrive, they have food, they have a 3-star hotel, they have everything laid out for them. Also, when they go to the project, that it's going to be fine because they're going to have 8 hours of work and everyone is going to tell them everything. But some of the times it's not the case, and they need to understand why these sort of problems happen, and why, when these problems happen, it's actually a positive experience for them. Because if they arrive, for example, in an NGO where they don't have those 8 hours of work because the NGO is completely unorganized and they only work 2 hours per week, it's up to them to create their own project. It's up to them to develop their own contribution to the NGO. It's up to them to develop their own project because they are coming with the knowledge from Sweden, and they are going there to create impact. So they need to understand the purpose and how we work as an organization. A third question is, does he or she, the candidate, display a set of values that are in line with that of our organizations? So you won't ask them directly, so what do you think about living diversity? Obviously, you won't inquire them directly on our core values, but what I mean here is that are you sure that this person is really socially concerned, that person wants to contribute? Because if it's only a person that wants to go to Thailand to do an internship because that person wants to lie on the beach every day, well, that's not really a person that is aligned with our purpose of creating social impact in communities. for example, if we're talking about GCDP, not GIP, obviously. Regarding selection, a material that we will provide for you is a national guide on how to do on questions that you can ask for in interviews in OGX. Actually, Francis and I were talking about that yesterday, and I can tell you that the OGX guide is going to be based upon the global competency model, which are five competencies that you should observe during the interview. But we will get to that at a later point since selection is not really a focus right now. Then also TTI. So Francis is going to deliver education to your interviewers. And so I also strongly recommend and advise for the OGX people to be present at that TTI, because they also run interview processes, selection processes in their LCs. Okay, awesome. So we saw this triangle of things that are contact points between TM and OGX. But there is also a process that is not really aligned with TM anymore. So it's like something where OGX, okay, we done the recruitment with you and the promotion and the selection, but now we're doing our own thing. Thank you very much, TM, but no thanks. So after your EPs are selected, they can begin their raise, match, realize process. So actually, when you talk about planning, promotion, and selection, you're talking about a pre-raise process, let's say. So there's pre-raise, which is planning, promotion, and selection. And then there's raise, match, and realize. So who can tell me here, this is actually already advanced questions, but I think it's really important for you to know. But for example, I want someone to answer me, when does an EP get raised officially? When they pay their fee and get access to myiisec.net, says Zara. Emmanuel, interview, contract sign, and fee paid. Well, those are the processes that get them to raise, but actually a raise, as Arnaud is saying, actually a raise is when they get their EP profile. So it's when they generate their form on myiisec.net and they get an EP code, which you might already have seen, and then it's a question of putting that profile on available so that they can get matched. And when does an EP get officially matched? When EP and TNAN are exchanged. Exactly. So Emmanuel has it. When an EP is certain that, okay, he sees, for example, a project in India that he really, really likes. And he says, I want to apply, and this is the project I want to go to. So he sends the EPAN, which is a document which I will tell you in a few moments about when we explain the customer flow of OGX. But he sends the EPAN, and then when he receives a TNAN, which is the answer that the project manager gives to him, when he receives that back, he is officially matched. That's it. He cannot apply to any other projects. And then he gets, the hosting entity will match him on myiisec.net. To make this faster, I'm going to tell you when does an official realization happen. Well, an official realization actually happens on the first day of the EP at work. So the first day that EP is on the job, he will be realized, and the hosting entity then has the responsibility to do that in the system. So in terms of system administration, what is very important for OGX people to know is how to do raises and how to do matches on the platform. And then realization, it doesn't really matter, because it's actually the hosting entity that realizes your EP. It's not a responsibility of the sending entity. So raising and matching, we will go through that in the customer flow. So basically, summarizing what I just said, must-knows for OGX. Raise is when the EP creates this form on myiesec.net and its status is changed to available. Match is when the EP receives a TNAN from the host entity. And realization is the starting date for the EP's project. So the first day on the job. We are now going through the customer flow of OGX, and since it is a bit more complicated than the TM1, we are also doing it step by step. So first you have a stranger. Let's call him Joe. So Joe is a stranger, and he learned about AIESEC from a friend, so he decided to check out our website. Okay. So in the website, he goes to www.aiesec.org. So he becomes a visitor of our organization, a visitor of the website, and he places a subscription on one of our websites. Okay. When that person does a subscription, as I told you, the subscription goes to either ORS, Podio, or info@aiesec.se. And that subscription is then relayed to the responsible VP, and the responsible VP or his members, more preferably because it's the members that do operations. One of the OGX members establishes a first contact with that person. So a first contact can be, for example, in the form of an HTML that you can send, or an email, or a booklet, an OGX booklet that you sent them, or just a timetable with information sessions. So it's up to you to decide how you establish first contact. But what I can advise you is that like emails, they're hard to track if they're open or not. So if you download any apps that can tell you if your EPs are opening their emails and consulting, I would recommend you to download it. And actually, if you send, for example, if your first contact is an email through MailChimp, in MailChimp.com, you can actually track if people have been opening your emails or not. So that is also great. So after establishing first contact with your EP, that EP goes to an information session. So at the information session, he will learn all about the program, how much he will pay, what are the benefits, what countries can he go to, also learn a bit more about the organization, why we do this, what is our purpose. But for him, it's mainly a point where he can clarify all his doubts that he has to the program. Okay. So after he's done with his information session, Joe is really interested on going for, let's say, a GCDP. So we come to a raise process where Joe is selected through the interview. So one of the OGX members interviews Joe, and he thinks, oh my God, he's an ideal candidate. He displays he displays a mindset that we feel totally aligned to, and he's going to be a great EP. There's not going to be any problem with him. So I definitely think he should be one of our EPs. So Joe is selected. He is accepted to our program through our interviews. And he signs the contract and pays the first installment of 2,500 SEK. So for those of you who don't know, OGX fees are the following. So for GCDP, you have, oh, just a moment, because our computer is running out of battery. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, the EP fees for OGX are the following. So GCDP, it's 3,500 SEK, and then GIP is 5,000 SEK. Sorry, yes. So GCDP is 3,500 SEK. GIP is 5,000 SEK, and they pay actually in 2 installments. They have a first installment before they get raised, and they have a second installment after they get matched. and you can decide in your LCs how you will proceed to those to that installment payment. Usually, and how it states on the compendium, is that the first installment before they raise is 2,500 SEK, and 500 of those 2,500 SEK is non-refundable. So if the EP doesn't get matched, and I can tell you that usually if an EP doesn't get matched, it's his own fault, then the 2,000 can be reimbursed, but not the 500 SEK that are non-refundable. And then the second installment, since he's doing a GCDP, he only pays 1,000 SEK. If he's doing GIP, he will pay 2,500 SEK. Yes, exactly, Robert. You can decide in your LC if in the first installment they pay 2,500 SEK, or they just pay the non-refundable part. So they can pay 500 SEK in the first installment and 3,000 SEK in the second installment. This is not in the compendium, but I have been Emma, our MC manager, has told me that some of our LCs are doing that. So it's really up to you to decide what is the best way to collect that fee. But I can, one thing that I can tell you is that if they do pay this 2,500 SEK, they will be much more concerned about getting themselves matched, if you know what I mean, because they know that they have placed an investment, and for them 2,500 SEK is much more screaming than 500 SEK. So they will also take initiative and proactivity to get themselves matched, and that will only help you in the long run. Okay, so after they sign the contract and the first installment, Joe becomes a customer. So he's now our customer. We are now fully responsible for him and for providing a service to that person. The EP here, he can apply to many TNs, so he has access to the database. He can freely roam our projects and select the ones that he likes best. So here you can have two methods of searching TNs for that EP. Either you give the EP the total freedom to do his own matching, or you assign that EP with an EP buddy that will help him throughout the whole process. But he also filters all the contacts that he has with foreign LCs. So the EP applying to many TNs, he basically can browse for many project opportunities. And if someone here has already browsed for projects, you will know that in the window, in the project window, you always have a contact of the TN manager. So they're responsible for that project. And okay, so basically the EP, in this case Joe, he can contact whomever he wants. He can send emails to whatever TN managers he pleases, and he can do questions, and he can set up Skype meetings with TN managers. If he is really interested in a particular TN, he can do actual interviews. So setting up a Skype meeting with a TN manager and seeing if he can be accepted to a specific project or not. Okay. So if your EP decides that he wants to apply for a certain project, he has to send his EPAN. The EPAN is a document that is enclosed to the XPP. I will send them as an output of these webinars, so don't worry if you don't have access to any EPAN. I will send it to you through email. And the EPAN needs to be filled and sent. But here you also establish a problem, which is if you send out an EPAN and you get a response, it means that your EP is vinculated to that project. He cannot choose any other project. And that is why an EPAN should only be sent every 10 days. So every 10 days, you send one EPAN. Because if you send out 3 EPANs and you get 2 responses, you have a serious problem in your hands. Because your EP got matched for 2 projects. And, that is a problem. So just send one EPAN every 10 days. And if the LC is unresponsive after 10 days, then you can legally apply for new TA. You can send new EPANs for other projects. So if your EP gets a response back from the LC, and he gets it, and we call that a TNAN, which is different because it says like the job description, blah 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 blah. Then it's a match, and the hosting entity will match your EP on my AIESEC. So from now on, it's not the part of the system administration is not up to you. It's up to the hosting entity. So your EP got officially matched. Joe is super happy because he's going on a project in Thailand, and he's going to help little children that live in unprivileged areas. He's going to teach him Malaysian. I don't know. After your EP gets matched, he gets his TNAN back. He pays a second installment. So 1,000 SEK for GCDP or 2,500 SEK if we're talking about GIP. And also don't forget that the second installment varies if you only ask for 500 SEK in your first installment. So in the second installment, they would pay 3,000 SEK for GCDP or 4,500 for GIP. After they get matched, your customer will actually get an automatic NPS survey. Who can tell me what NPS is? Yes, Emmanuel has got it. NPS means a Net Promoter Score. So it's basically a really simplified way to explain it is it's basically the quantifiable method to assess the quality of your project, of your program. Okay, so basically, from there on, your EP will get NPS surveys to assess the way he has been dealt with through AIESEC. Okay, so it's important scores that that AI will review because it's an automatic NPS survey. And actually, the results of that NPS survey are available in a website, which is Customer Gauge, which I will deliver education on that further along the time when we arrive to this point. So after your EP gets matched, he attends OPS. And when I say attends OPS, is that usually the outgoing preparation seminar is intended to be like induction. It's an actual seminar. In Portugal, it's even a 3-day conference. But you can decide to do an OPS or not. Until now, we have not been doing OPSs in Sweden because in HLC usually there is not a high enough volume of EPs to justify organizing a whole OPS for them. So the way OPS has been delivered, it has been some individual sessions to the EP so that they are fully prepared for their experience. But I can tell you that doing OPSs, even if you only have 2 or 3 EPs, it's very important because the EPs get to have a feeling of community with other EPs. And it's like I can tell you from personal experience that it's a really good preparation for the challenges they will face because they have the same fears, the same doubts, and you can answer them all at once and clarify everything at once. So Arnaud is asking what exactly is OPS. It's a very good question. OPS means outgoing preparation seminar. So, so it's basically a seminar to prepare your EPs for going abroad. Again, OPS, I will provide you with an OPS package. This will not be right now as I am going to IC and we're still taking care of recruitment preparation and everything. But after I come back, I will start working on an OPS package so that you have pre-prepared what? Yes. And actually tomorrow, Francis will present the members education cycle, and it has some minimums that you can minimums that you can see that should be transmitted through OPS. And from there on, you can also develop your own sessions. But I will also provide you with a package of these sessions for OPS. Great. So after OPS, your EP finally takes care of logistics. So he buys the plane ticket, the visa, insurance, He goes to a special doctor's appointment to know what kind of vaccinations he needs for the country he's going. So all of these logistics, like AIESEC doesn't really, you as a sending entity, you don't really have the responsibility to help them with that. But honestly, if you want to be the best, you want to deliver the best quality experience you want, then you should help your EP with these kind of logistics, especially since we have so much experience with EPs doing the whole process that EP is doing, that you can support him, that you already have the knowledge to help that EP. You'll see that as you make more realizations, you will see that you have a lot of information and you can help the EP prepare for his trip. So the EP, after he takes care of the logistics, our EP Joe, he says goodbye to his family and he finally goes to Thailand to begin his project. And when he arrives, he begins his TN. So as you know, realization happens in the first day of work, and the host entity places your EP as realized on the database. So he arrives and he begins his TN, and the hosting entity has the responsibility of organizing all sorts of reception activities for your EP. At last, your EP keeps getting some NPS surveys. Usually they happen in the beginning and the end, but if the project is longer than weeks, I think, he will also get another NPS survey. So this is actually something that EPs might get quite frustrated about. They're like, oh my God, why am I always getting these forms to fill out? This is so annoying. So you should definitely, before they go, try to make them see the importance of filling in the NPS surveys, because it's with their feedback that we can improve ourselves. So Zara is asking, are all of these counted as 3 separate experiences or as one? What do you mean? What three experiences? Oh, raise, match, and realize. 3 separate experiences? Well, no, it's just, okay, they're different processes, but they're the same experience. Like the customer flow is one experience, okay? So that is the EP experience. And in that experience, you have different processes that you need to take care of, including like pre-raise, raise, match, and realization. It's the same thing for TM, basically, because, and ICX. Yes, for everyone, it's the same. So they have one flow, one experience, but various processes. Is that clear for you, Zara? Okay, but for TM, a TMP, TLP are 2 separate ones. Yes, they are. A TLP experience is different from a TMP experience, exactly. Because, yes, exactly. Emmanuel, do we have NPS gauge in GIS? Yes. Yes, NPS will be incorporated into GIS, Emmanuel. So that is one less thing we have to worry. Yes, exactly. So GIS, it's really going to be the big deal this year, because it's going to incorporate all the external platforms that we have to do our AIESEC work. Awesome, guys. So we're still not done with the customer flow, because you should never forget your EP. So this is a common mistake in OGX, is that when your EP leaves the country, he gets forgotten. But remember that until he comes back from his experience, he is still your customer. You are still responsible and personally liable for that EP. So don't forget to check up on him, see if everything goes okay. And when he comes back, it is also wise to keep that person as a promoter of your project. So he will be a living example of how well experiences with AIESEC goes, so that he can attract other people to have life-changing experiences themselves. And another thing that you can also do is reintegrate that person into the organization. So make that EP become a member. And I can tell you that that is something that happened to me. For example, I went through this whole customer flow of OGX, and then I entered AIESEC as a member after I came back from my GCDP experience. So you can create a reintegration seminar, for example, with a few sessions for them, or you can do reintegration activities like dinners and hangouts, camping trips, and also ask them to showcase their story. So as you see from the difference that we have from this materials portfolio that came out on the 1st of August and the materials that we had last year, you see that there's a much more personal touch to our materials. You see faces, you see reports of experiences. You see that it will be a much more effective way to sell because your target audience will see, wow, I can picture that experience in my mind, and I have a showcase. I have reports of how the experience went, and these are actual Swedish students that went abroad, and like I totally want to go to there now also. So it's kind of a sheep herd mentality, but you know that's how customers work, and that's how you should think marketing wise, and that is something that will help you in the long run if you always get showcasing from your returning EPs. Also, as you might know, I have been asking the VP OGXs for permission to contact their EPs from last summer. But this summer, you have some EPs that are returning, so it should be your own responsibility to contact these EPs and showcase their story. And my request for you is, if you actually do this, if you ask them for showcase, please also relay them to me so that we can have like everything stored for later materials and so on. And also, one thing that you can do after your EP comes back is upselling them to another product. So, for example, if your EP came back from a GCDP experience, then why not another GCDP experience? Or why not a GIP experience now? And if your EP went on a GIP, then why not another internship because you like the first one so much? Or a GCDP to make everything different. So you can always try to push them to take another product, to buy another of our products. So just coming back to the must-knows of OGX. So don't forget that the difference here to TM is really the legalities that are involved with the OGX process. So don't forget that you have the contract that the EP needs to sign in order to get raised, the EPAN and TNAN to get matched, and also you having some basic knowledge of how to do like a visa process in the usual countries where our EPs go. A third thing is your Bible. So every OGX person in the world needs to know about XPP. XPP, it's the Exchange Program Policies. It's basically the Bible of OGX. It says all the duties and responsibilities and rights of the EP, the hosting entity, and the sending entity, which is us. So really consult the XPP, especially when you have like a problem with one of your EPs. It's better to be prepared and prevented than to be reactive. So be sure that you know at least the layout of the XPP and you read it through once so that you're really aware of it. So guys, that was it for the customer flow. I don't know if you have any specific questions regarding it. Just write banana if everything is okay with you. Banana. Awesome. Sawa, sawa. Okay, Robert has a question regarding the OGX team. Go away. Go away. That's what I meant. I wanted to say go ahead, Robert. Sorry. Go away. How many members do I need until winter, for example? Francis, perhaps you want to take this TM structure, not TM structure, but like structural question.
Okay, so how many members do you need until the winter? So the national team or the talent management unit has created a proposed structure for all LCs, as I mentioned already, for our locations. And we will present that also tomorrow. And that's also the reason why you should actually be through within this webinar or this training throughout the entire process. And we have a first 6-month structure and a next 6 months, which also has to do with the second half of the year, and also a proposed structure per the retainees for the incoming year, which is 15-16. And all of that would be revealed to the network tomorrow.
Awesome. Claire is also doing a very interesting question. When we upsell to another product, will they pay the whole fee again? So this is a very good question. When they pay their GCDP or their GIP fee, they actually have access to the database for 1 year, 12 months. So if that GCDP or GIP experience if they are matched 1 year before that 1 year is elapsed, if their second experience is matched before those 12 months have elapsed, then they don't need to pay the fee again. The only exception is if they have been on a GCDP experience and they want to do a GIP raise, they need to pay the difference of the fee. Okay, Claire? Awesome. And if that 1 year has elapsed, yes, they need to pay the fee again. Yes. Okay, awesome. So I'm very glad that you participated with your questions and so on. If you have any other questions related to the content delivered today, definitely direct them either to me if it's OGX related, so Manuel at AIESEC.se, and for and for TM, you can, sorry, he was dancing in the back, that's why I was distracted. Francis at AIESEC.se. Oh, Robert, very good question. What about us? What are the fees for us? So I actually haven't reviewed the discount model of OGX for AIESEC in Sweden because it varies from country to country. But I do think it is stated on the contract. So if you go to an EP contract, it states the EP discounts there. And you do have, I am aware that you do have a discount, especially being a VP, but I don't remember how much that is. I think you have actually, being on an EB, you have a free raise. I don't know if anyone can correct me, but for example, Emma, she was the LCP of Lund, and she did a free raise for GIP. She never got matched, but she did a raise. So, but again, the discount policy is in the contract. So in the contract, no, yes, it's in the contract. Sorry, I was thinking if it was in the contract or in the EPAN, but no, it's obviously in the contract. Okay, so you can check the discount policy there, Robert. You're very welcome. Okay, awesome, guys. So I hope this webinar was useful for you. And as you know, it was recorded. So I do hope that you will pass on this knowledge to whomever in your LC needs to have this knowledge or whomever wasn't present, because OGX and TM recruitments are not just about OGX and TM people. They are about everyone. Everyone needs to know this because these recruitments are our bread and butter, and it's the engine of our organization. And if you're not running recruitments, then the organization will die. Quite honestly, it's true. It's true. So you know that I'm not quite the finisher guy. That is our amazing MCVP TM's high quality. So he will do the wrap up for this webinar for today. And don't forget that tomorrow we will be here at 9 p.m. in the evening to talk about a few planning guidelines or recommendations that you can adapt in your LCs, and also to explain to you the tools that the MC is going to give you to help you guys out so that you're not stressed out when creating tools and so on for your recruitments. Awesome. So I really hope that you guys will be here tomorrow. Francis? Wrap it up.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for being present. And as you can see, there is a very pretty train, and it's steaming its way through. And this is a representation for you guys to always have in mind that irrespective of the hard times that will come ahead, and I'm not just saying this as a statement, but I guarantee you that it will not be easy to run recruitment and run it very effectively. If it is easy, then it means you're not running it effectively. And so irrespective of the hard times that will come ahead, or irrespective of the stress that you may go through, the sleepless nights, or whatever it is, always have in mind that your clear goal or your mission is to ensure that you're providing life-changing experiences to individuals, be it through the outer journey of leadership or through the inner and outer journey of leadership. These individuals will develop themselves and become better people in the societies that we dwell in, and we will, at the end of the day, get through the ice with full steam ahead and ensure that we as individuals, or we as an organization, or we as an entity, AIESEC in Sweden, have provided these experiences to these individuals. And at the end of the day, we will be thankful to you guys as the EBs who ensured or orchestrated all of these things. Thank you guys so much for being with us, and we are looking forward to the next session, which will happen tomorrow at 9 p.m. as Manuel said. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions whatsoever about these about this session today. Maybe after we are done, when you review it, you may have some questions. Please do not hesitate to contact us about it, and we will, of course, always try to give you our best in terms of knowledge transfer. Thank you, and from Manuel also.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Yes, and in time, exactly. I know. You know, it's difficult for us.
Trying to be Swedish.
Yeah, one Portuguese and one Ghanaian trying to be on time always. We're doing our best. Okay, so see you tomorrow, guys.